Well, today, Caolan has reported on Twitter that both he and Tommy were rammed off the road yesterday, chased and attacked whilst filming in a predominantly Muslim neighbourhood. Delighted to say Caolan's okay, and he joins us now. Hi, Caolan.
Hi, John.
Hi. Well, you're quite clearly okay. What about the other people in the car? Do they manage to escape these nutcases?
Well, we all did pretty much fine. It was actually just Tommy and I in the car. Normally we'll have a producer and a cameraman with us, but they weren't actually present this time, so I ended up just picking up the camera for Rebel and just started filming all of this. But yeah, it was just us, basically.
So how did it happen then? Tell me how you first knew that somebody was on your tail.
Well, so we turned up at sort of a cul-de-sac at the centre of a Muslim area near the town centre in Rochdale, and we were reporting on a case about a local Muslim counsellor who had given a positive character reference to one of the paedophiles involved in the grooming scandal. He also gave a reference to get the guy his taxi that he was using to manipulate these girls, and he still maintained his job working as a counsellor for the Labour Party. So we wanted to do a report on this. So we decided to head to the area where he was based, and we were going to conduct an interview. And the word had obviously gotten out in that area that we were going to be attending. And as soon as we arrived, Tommy and I noticed engines running in the different car parks in the area and on the street. And then as soon as we started to pull out, because obviously it was looking a bit dodgy, the cars all sort of surrounded us and tried to block us from leaving the neighborhood, this Muslim neighborhood. And suddenly there were sort of young Asian, or Middle Eastern, I can't stand that, Middle Eastern people coming from basically everywhere towards the car, screaming abuse, and then someone threw sort of a brick through the back window, and at that point Tommy just put the pedal down and sped off. And then we were basically chased out of that neighborhood, down one of the motorways, and other cars who were involved in this followed us as well, and they were ramming into the side of us, and they tried to block the car again.
Hold on a minute. You're going down the motorway and they're ramming you on the motorway?
It literally sounds like something out of an action film.
Yes,
but
it does.
We've got footage of this. There were people in other cars on the phone to the police looking like they couldn't believe what was happening. There was a couple of cars, and they were trying to stop us on the motorway. This is a 3-lane motorway when we were stopping at one of the lights. And obviously we had to get out of there because we didn't, they were saying, well, you're going to get shot around here, you don't really know what's going to be happening in these situations. So we were just pulling out, and then they were sort of ramming into the side of us, stopping us, trying to get out, and the whole side of the car was destroyed, and obviously their cars were destroyed, and it just looked absolutely insane. The footage is going to be put up on the Rebel later on today. We're just putting it together, and it's not 100% clear.
Do you seriously believe your lives were in danger? If they'd got hold of you, do you believe you'd have been dead?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we read stories all the time about neighborhoods like this and the kind of things that happen across Europe. And I never, ever thought I would, A, be involved, or B, witness something like that in the UK. The last time I heard the mainstream media talking about it, Fox News, they were laughed completely at by the entire establishment of this country, and now I've witnessed it firsthand, and it's absolutely it's shocking. It's completely shocking.
So you were in Rochdale to make a film. You wanted to confront this person. Somehow they got wind of it. They then trap you in a cul-de-sac. They chase you down the motorway, and they ram the car. How did you get away from them in the end?
So they had originally rammed the car to basically form a blockade inside the cul-de-sac of that Muslim neighborhood. Once we managed to ram our way out of that, when they threw the brick, we started pedaling down the motorway, and then within about 5 minutes, a couple of those cars who were originally stopping us in the cul-de-sac had appeared, and they had obviously been following us, and that's when it happened again, and that's when it was even more dramatic.
But how did you get away? How did you get away in the end?
Well, so once we started ramming those cars out of the way, I don't think they expected us to do that, because they were sort of blocking us. They were going right in front of our car and stopping. And obviously we drove off. We drove straight through them, basically, and they kept bashing into the side of us. And once they realized their cars were just as damaged as ours, they sped off at the same time, completely through red lights. They sped off. So that's how we got away. I don't think they were expecting that. I don't know what they were thinking.
And have you informed the police, and what have the police done?
Yeah, I mean, you'll see this in the video of the Rebel trying. I was actually on the phone to the police at the time. and so you can hear the policewoman saying, "Oh my God, what's going on? You know, what's the registration plate?" So we got out of the area. We went to a local hotel, and then the police arrived there to take a statement from us. And they said they would look into it. They obviously have the car registration plate, but I mean, going by the previous stories I've heard, it sounds like they're not really going to be going into those areas to do much investigating, because they'll be met with the same type of hostility. But yeah, we still inform the police.
And where's Tommy now? And is it going to put him off from pursuing these people?
Well, we're just heading back to London now. He's just on the motorway. I'm sort of in the service station, so he's just in the car. It's not going to put us off. Every time something like this happens, and similar things have happened, not on this scale, but every time it happens, we expose all the people who did it, and it makes us grow more. It makes people who follow us more passionate, because they're seeing what's happening in their country, and it drives us with even more energy to go back out and to do more investigating, because the more you look into this and the more you dig, the more horrific, horrible stories you find, and the more areas in the UK you realise are completely lawless. And this isn't going to slow us down. This is just going to give us more ammunition to carry on exposing these areas, because no one else is.
And do you feel that you will get police protection, or in a way, Tommy doesn't want police protection, because that means they'll be on his back all the time? So there's an ultimate contradiction there, isn't there? Well, yeah. I mean, I had Antifa turn up at my front door and send me photos of the doorbell, which I posted about. I did a video about that for the Rebel, and I've had similar sort of threats like that. And the police came around and they sort of offered a panic button, and sort of offered a couple of things, but they've never actually offered real police protection. I don't know if it's too expensive or if it's not in their interest, but it seems like people on our side of the political argument aren't sort of offered the same services by the police as maybe someone else who might have been threatened with non-existent far-right threats. So, no, it doesn't seem like we're going to be afforded that. We'd have to go through the avenue of private security. But I'm sure we'll be fine. Okay, good talking to you. Thank you very much indeed. Caolan Robertson, he was actually in the car with Tommy Robinson yesterday when they were pushed off the road in Rochdale, a Muslim hotspot. He says they were Muslims. He says they were of Arab appearance. He's not allowed to use the word Asian anymore. What do you make of that? Come on, you got to have a reaction. Why didn't the mainstream media cover it? Why isn't it in the papers? Why wasn't it on the news last night? Or have I got that wrong? 02 38 29 1234. What do you make of the Three Girls programme last night? Before we had our sound problem, we were talking to Muhammad Fayaz. Let's go back to him. Muhammad, you say you're an apostate. You say you're a Christian. What did you make of the Three Girls documentary, my friend?
Just before I go on to that, I'm just horrified at what happened to Tommy. Tommy is a great friend of mine. He's an amazing, brave hero, and I think this incident just proves, is a prime example perfect example why Islam is not peace. Perfect example. And anyway, to go on. Well,
what we need to have now is a full police investigation, and those who are alleged to have done this now must be put before the courts, mustn't they? Just as they would be if they were white yobbos doing this. We can't have a situation where people are ramming cars. We've had accusations of this before, but it would appear that rebel media have actually now got the actual film of them being chased down a British motorway as if they were in a gangster movie. This is outrageous.
It is, and I think it'll be interesting to see exactly what the police do with this incident. And I think as long as the ordinary police officers, it's the police officers at the top, right? The ones that give out orders. This is called political policing. As long as they continue in that, they are giving grounds to men in my community to say it's all right to do that, because we're not going to do anything because we're afraid to be called racist. As long as they continue
it ties in with my Twitter poll when I say, are we doing enough to stop the Muslim rape gangs? The answer quite simply is no. There's too much political correctness involved. The Daily Telegraph have written a whole article about this today, and it's no good, Muhammad, for you or me, whatever our religion, whatever the colour of our skin. The law is the law.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.